glad to see you here tonight. We have a really great class scheduled for you. We are making chocolates. We're doing truffles and with Oreos. A really interesting thing for kids, really nice. And we're also doing a second truffle that is made with a ganache with amaretto. You could take or leave the amaretto, and also some heavy cream, which you use to make the ganache. And I'm going to show you how to make ganache and how very, very simple it is. That also has hazelnuts in it, and it's really, really tasty. So before we do the chocolates, we're going to, of course, do a main dish. And the main dish tonight is Eggs Benedict. Now, a lot of people love to brunch. They love to have Eggs Benedict, but people don't realize how simple it is with our molds to make Eggs Benedict at home. So our in-house home cook guru, Eric, who is so fabulous in the kitchen, is going to share with all of you how he makes his Eggs Benedict with a beautiful hollandaise sauce. It's real simple in the blender. So Eric, on to you.
Hi. So when you make it the traditional way with small water and vinegar, poaching each egg individually, it takes a while to get enough Eggs Benedict together to feed everybody. And then by then, some of it's going to be cold. So we want to make sure it's fresh and ready to eat right away. And doing it in the tray, in the oven, using the 6-round tray. I'm using jumbo eggs just because I like good eggs. Use whatever size you want. And also, if you want the eggs to come out thicker, when you're making your Eggs Benedict, you could use the flour tray works well. I've used that before. This one's there too. So now you see I've just got one egg into each one of the wells. I don't want to cook too much because I don't want to dump eggs out. And then we're going to put our medium bacon on top. And you can do one slice, or you can do 2 slices. Whatever you want to do. And you just drop it on top. And then from there, we're going to you can put cheese on it or spinach or whatever else you want. Some people put tomatoes. I like crab cakes on them, but I wouldn't do a crab cake here because you want to fry it first. But whatever else you want to put in here. And then we're just going to put muffins on top so that they'll toast. And then what we're going to do is put it in a preheated oven, about the center rack at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Depends on how firm you want the eggs. I like the yolks to run, so I'm probably going to do it around 10 minutes is what we're going to try for. And you just want to check it. The white should be opaque. You don't want any runny egg whites. But ideally, for Eggs Benedict, you want the yolk to be soft so that when you cut into it, it runs off. Okay, so while that is baking, what we're going to do is make the hollandaise sauce. Now, this recipe for hollandaise sauce is pretty simple. What we're going to do is take a cup or 3/4 of a cup of butter. We're going to melt it until it's pretty hot. And then what we're going to do, we need 3 egg yolks. And you can use an egg separator if you've got one. I find my hands work best. And it gets all the white off. You don't really want any white in this if you can avoid it. Now, if you're lazy and don't want to make the hollandaise sauce, you can buy a package from the grocery store. Normally, a really good one. The other thing you can do is, my family loves this, but they like béarnaise sauce over hollandaise sauce. It's really the same thing. All you have to do is throw some tarragon in this, and then you'll get what you need. So now we need a tablespoon of lemon juice. And you can use the pre-squeezed, but the fresh squeezed is better. And I'm using the citrus press to do this.
How many of you have ever made Eggs Benedict with a fresh hollandaise sauce at home? Answer in the chat. Doesn't it seem like when you're doing a class that
butter should be hot, but make sure that you're drizzling it in slowly and the blender is running the whole time. Otherwise, you will end up with kind of scrambled egg yolks instead of the nice béarnaise sauce or hollandaise sauce that we're looking for. Yeah, the butter's getting really hot now. It's consuming. So I think we're okay. And then we're going to put this on. Slowly, slowly. Flatter a little bit. Looks heavy. That's really good. That is actually much better than the package soda. Okay, the sauce is done, and we've got about 6 more minutes to come out of the oven there. Okay, our timer's going off. I believe these kind of 12 minutes. It's gonna run a little knife around. Take my tongs that I lost. Okay. And just put this on top, and then you're going to flip it over real fast. Careful not to drop anything, make sure it's squeezed together. Right here. And here we go. Six, one on top of each. This one broke. I'll always make an extra one just in case. Now let's just get this one on again. And take this and pour the hollandaise sauce over the top. And then I'm channeling where I'm done doing a little bit of garnish that I normally do. And there's what we got is Eggs Benedict. And we made 4 at once, even though I broke one. But very simple, easy, and this tastes amazing. So I hope you guys try this. And I'm going to turn this back over to Cindy. And we'll have a great night.
Thank you so much, Eric. We're definitely all ready to make some chocolates, but wow, what a great recipe that is. It's amazing how quickly You were able to also make that elevation. Just need to grab another bowl here. Really quick, and I know Eric is such a great cook. Many times he's cooked for our events. When we have birthdays, he's cooked for me many times, always makes something fabulous. Right now, what I'm doing is he did the chocolate while Eric was working. And I want to talk to you a little bit about heating chocolate. First off, if you use the microwave, you should only do it in 10-second intervals and even down 5 seconds in the end. When you do that, you must stop the microwave every 10 seconds. And you need to, for 30 seconds, you need to stir the chocolate. And that's how you get this nice, glossy finish. And you can see this chocolate maybe is getting a little bit cool already. So what I do, I have a pan. I heated the water in my teapot up to 180 degrees. And I can set this in here for a second. You don't want to leave it very long because chocolate's temperamental and it gets much hotter and very quickly gets hot before you think it should actually be hot. See, this is like dropping a little bit better like this. So we'll see. I might have to put it back in there because we're going to mix up. The first chocolates that we're going to make are Oreo chocolates. And these are super simple. And remember, the one thing I want you to remember about making the chocolates is this is a very forgiving process. This is at home making where I'm not a professional chocolatier. I have no idea. I just, my sisters both make chocolate. So one day I decided I wanted to learn to make them too. And here I am with you. So what we're going to do is we have Oreos. And I'm only going to make 10 chocolates. So I have actually 9 Oreos. And I saved one to chop very finely and put on top of the chocolate, which you'll see. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the Oreo in the Eco Chop. And this is just such an amazing tool that you can use for everything. You can use it for dessert, you can use it for salad, you can use it for guacamole, or just about everything. I'm going to pull 16 times because that's what I counted today when I made the Oreos very fine. There we go. And here you see, masterpiece. It looks beautiful. Very, very fine. Looks like almost like coffee. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take, for the recipe that Eric can share with you is for 48 to do for the whole tray, but I'm not going to do, if I bring 48 chocolates to my daughters with their kids, with Oreos in them, they might send me home. So I want to make sure that it's okay. I only made 10. And I know the kids and their mom and dad will really enjoy those for Valentine's. You put in 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. And your cream cheese has to be at room temperature and very soft. You cannot take it out of the fridge and pretend like it's ready. It's not. If you feel that your cream cheese is not warm enough, I do have a secret that I do if, I run into that problem. I'm going to show you just a little tip of something that you can do. I don't know how many of you know about this beeswax paper. I absolutely love it. It sticks to almost everything. But what you can do if you have a harder piece of cream cheese, cut it in half, wrap it in here, and then just massage it with your hands. And the warmth of your body is going to warm that cream cheese up very quickly. And then you just scrape it right off of here. So it's really perfect to do that. It would be harder to get it off of like a saran wrap or something like that. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just, my cream cheese is really, really soft. It's been out for hours. Excuse me. I'm going to mix it up in here. And the trick of doing this is that you want to mix it so you don't see very much white anymore. You don't want any clumps. I'm just using a fork to get through it. And see what I actually do use is my mini whisk. This is a perfect tool for this job because it's so good at mashing things because of the little bit of openings in between the metal. So we want to make sure that we do this so that if we go to form a ball, that it is going to form a ball. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the mini cube tray individually, piece by piece. You can see that it's starting to form a ball, so I feel like this is pretty good. Okay, I can wipe this off. So I wore my gloves, so much easier. Then I'm going to take number 40 of this mini scooper. We do not sell these, but they're great if you can find a good one. And I'm going to fill it up with that mixture. I'm going to press it down because I want it pretty solid. So then I'm going to take it and put it right here. And I'm going to press this down here. And then I'm going to press it down with my finger to make sure that it gets in all the corners because you want to get as even of a chocolate as you can straight corner. And remember, we are going to freeze it. So here's another one. You just keep going down the tray and kind of just push it in. The reason that I use the scoop is because I would be using a teaspoon and I would not have a good measure. This is made for, it filled exactly 10 for me today, so. But I did take out one of the Oreos to crush for the crust in this one, so we'll see. So you just press this in. If you're very particular about it, you can get even a little bit, it's better with it if you use your offset spatula. Let me wipe this off. The offset spatula is another tool that is just so great for so many things. You also want to make sure that you get this evenly into the mold. Well, your fingers are not good at making things even, so it's better to use the offset spatula. It comes a bit more even when you do that. And remember, we're going to put chocolate, we're going to dip this in chocolate, so you don't want to make it too much chocolate here with the Oreos, even though, I mean, come on. You were a kid in America, you definitely ate Oreos. Well, if you had a health nut for a mother. I did not. My mom had 8 kids. She just wanted to feed everyone, trying to get food on the table, but she was making homemade food every night. But we did have snacks. A lot of fruit. Okay, so as we go along, I'm just going to continue pushing this down. And for time's sake, I can't leave like an hour, 2 hours, 20 minutes, because you will get pretty bored by that time. So I want to make sure that I have pretty much the steps done for you. I'm going to push this down. You see that we want to make sure that we're getting this evenly in and push it down. What's nice, because the mold is flexible, it allows us that opportunity to push down without ruining anything. So we have 2 more here. Here we go. Then we'll use this again. Just see how quickly this actually gets everything in there. This one is a little bit smaller. make sure. And then last one here. I like to get it a little bit more solid when it is actually in the scoop because it helps you from having too much work in the mold. Have any of you ever made Oreo truffles, or is this the first time? Just wondering. Because if you have kids, even big kids like grown-ups, like your husband, your wife, your friends, your parents, I think this is something that everybody's going to love. So this is all set to go into the freezer. Okay, let's see this way. Going into the freezer, it's going to go into the freezer for 20 minutes. But let's say that we got it out of the freezer. So this has been out for a while, but I had left one in here so I could show you what it's like when you take it out of the freezer. Very square, very nice. And I'm going to show you what we do with this in order to make it decorated and whatnot. Where are we going with this? Okay, we're just going to set that right there.
Cindy,
Yeah,
we have a question. Did you say it was a number 40 scoop?
yeah.
Okay.
It's eighth of a half 0.8 ounce.
Okay.
One second, I have to get this in the freezer. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this one that I made earlier that I'm just pulling out. And I just want to show you what we actually do. You can see my chocolate is a little bit thick. I'm going to put it back in the water for a second. I just have this pot of water here. I don't know how hot the water is now, but I'm sure it's warmer than warm. You put this full, and it's really nice if you have something with a pour spout on it. It saves you so much trouble, so much trouble. So what I want to do is I want to make sure this doesn't get too hot. As long as it's streaming, it's good. If it's plopping down, just a big round circle, your chocolate is either not hot enough or it's become too hot. That's why I can't leave it in the water. I can't trust leaving it in the water. So what I'm going to do is real simple here. I'm going to get another, I like to use a cocktail fork to do this. It's not going to like puncture everything. So I'm going to move the water out of the way. And Eric, just let me know if you can see properly. Here.
I can see. I might switch just to the counter view though.
What? Okay. So I have 1 cube, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the cube in. Oops. I'm going to cover it up. And I'm going to, normally I keep it on the fork, but I don't want to break it. So I'm going to let it drip for a second. What you do at this point is like you can just tap your fork on the side of your chocolate container and then set this down and slide your fork out. Okay, so we can see that there's drips and there's also drips on this.
Can you pull that forward? We can't see it.
Oh yeah.
There, thank you.
You can see that there's drips here and here going around. That's fine. So what you do with those drips, we're gonna hope this dries real quick for you. Come on. Then we're going to take the offset spatula and we're going to trim around it to make sure that everything still has an even side. I really can't do that right now because this is, this is so wet. That's impossible to make that happen. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And you see here where I had touched it. what I can do is just dip my offset spatula back into the chocolate and just fix it. There we go. It's fine. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to allow this to dry a little bit. But before it actually dries, the best time to put a decoration on top of it is right now. So I have Oreo cookie crumbs here that I had left from when I chopped. I'm gonna put a bunch of them right in the center. And then,
We can't see what you're doing though.
okay, you can't see?
No, pull it towards you. Yes, there. That's
So
perfect.
I put the cookie crumbs on top. I have the Oreo cookie crumbs here. And put a few more here. Chunks. And then I have these little hearts. And these are Valentine's sprinkles by Alexander. Don't ask me what's in them, because I'll be in trouble. Okay, so we're going to also take these. You can do one of two things. You can evenly set them on, or drop them down, it's fine. It's a little bit harder with the gloves on, but we'll do fine. You might want to take something like these tongs. These are ice tongs that have these nice and thin edges on them. So we just have 3 hearts now. My one sister, well, actually both of my sisters, Emily and Rhonda, they are so good at doing this. They will stay on one chocolate forever. That is not me. I'm like, no, we're done with that now. It's okay. The kids are going to eat it. They don't care what it looks like. But I'm trying to do a good job for you. Whoops. So I can just push this down here. Okay, it's kind of sticking up there. If you want to place a piece of chocolate on the Oreo, you should drop a little bit of chocolate on top of the Oreo crust, and there you go. Very simple. So we're going to just set these aside, these little hearts. And then I think that the chocolate is pretty much ready, so I can show you how we're going to trim it. So what we do is we just, if you want to leave that lip around it, you can. I don't. I think it looks messy. So we're going to turn this on each side. The bottom of it is just barely drying. Good. And then you turn it this way. We go straight down and you just push. And that's why it's really important. You should use the Bonmat or even the roll pad to do this. And look how much better the chocolate looks. Doesn't it look great? So we're just going to pick this up. And then oops, see that? Good thing it's dry. And just set it right here. And we'll show you the other ones, which I put a little bit more of the Oreo cookie on top. And these I didn't dip all the way in. I dipped them, some of them are dipped all the way. Some of them are just the Oreo cookie crust on the bottom. But just such a nice serving for you to serve, just to be festive for Valentine's Day. This is something that doesn't take long, and it's very simple to do once you know how to melt your chocolate. Do you know how to melt chocolate? You can mix up this Oreo mix and the Eco Chop in seconds, so it's no problem. So just saying, like, this is already ready for anyone to eat. So just really nice. I hope you like this. I know that my grandkids are going to love it. I can't wait to share that with them. We'll put these right here so you can continue to see them. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, first I want to tell you that I was doing the second recipe. And I mistakenly brushed my mold. I filled the bottom of the mold with ganache instead of doing it with the straight chocolate. The problem with doing that is the straight chocolate hardens. Ganache doesn't really harden. Ganache is something that goes in the middle. That's why it's a truffle, because it has something soft in the middle. Just like these have the soft Oreo and cream cheese mixture in the middle. And the cream cheese is put in there so it binds them together. The second ones that I'm doing has the heavy whipping cream. It has the heavy whipping cream, the chocolate, and it also has amaretto in it. I did 2 teaspoons of amaretto. But what I'm going to show you is how you actually make the ganache. And then I'm going to see if we can unmold one of them. I took them out of the freezer, but they still seem really soft. And I don't know if they'll ever freeze exactly right, but the idea of it is to do the same thing that we're doing right now and then just dip in the chocolate. So we'll try to do it like that. Okay, I have some of the ganache already made, but I think it's really important for me to show you how to make it. Let me empty the water out of the pan. So one of the most important things about ganache, you don't need to boil the water. I mean, boil the cream. The second thing is, you have to have more chocolate than you do cream. Because if you don't, it won't set very well. So can you see my pan inside my pan right now, Eric? With my second camera?
Not yet, but you will in a second.
Okay, you fix that, please.
Yeah, now.
Thank you.
Both are on.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everyone how, I actually want to use this other printer. This is the first one, that's a big. I'm gonna turn it on low. I mean, turning gas on low, it's almost impossible, but we'll try. For my stove top. Nice that I have little hearts still all over the counter, I love it. Okay, perfect, we got that. We're using. I am just going to show you this. So normally we would be putting 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream, and I'm only going to put 1/3 of a cup. And then I'm going to put 1/2 of a cup of chocolate. So we want this to get just simmered to where you see not a boil, a full boil, but start to get bubbles in it. That means it's getting pretty hot. So then I will get the chocolates. We're waiting for that the cream to boil. That's heavy whipping cream. And you want to use a heavy whipping cream that is 35% fat. That's important. Oops. You see how fast that happened? Don't turn your back on it. So the next thing that we're going to do is thank God these are stainless steel. These are so good. We used to sell these pans. And these pans do not burn the milk. Normally you would see something like that. It would burn it. It would go so quickly. So now we are going to take the chocolate. We're going to put the chocolate in a bowl. And we don't need the burn any longer. We're going to pour the cream on top of the chocolate. It's a 1/2 cup of chocolate, 1/3 cup of cream. This is not going to make a lot. It's going to make puke, but I want to show you the concept. And when we post this recipe, we will have the right measurements for you. So you let it sit for 30 seconds. Think it's been 30 seconds? Vote for me. Absolutely, it's been 30 seconds. Let's go. We start stirring, and you just keep doing that. Excuse me. And you can see that this is turning browner and browner. And it's turning brown like that because it is turning into a ganache. It's going to get darker. It's, you know, it's pretty warm. And sometimes you think like these chocolates are not going to melt. Believe me, they are going to melt. Just keep stirring it. And you stir it until they're all melted. Even if you think they're not going to melt, they will, because you saw that this was not at the oil. So it was warm already. Plus I have it on. Let these sit for a second in the warm liquid. And then I will stir again. I like to actually use the spatula too, because it doesn't bother the chocolate. You should feel this like start to come together. You can feel it like getting a little bit thicker. I can set it right here on top of the burner just to give it a little speck more heat. It's not going to bother anything. The burner is not on. It's just going to warm it a little bit to melt those last pieces. Don't leave it on the heat though, because you don't want your chocolate to get overly warm, because it will thicken and it will not keep the gloss. It will not be beautiful. You will not be able to work with it. This is the thing you keep saying, okay, come on, what's going on here? What I can do also is I can put it over hot water, which I have in the teapot. You can't leave it there though. You can just put it there for a second. If it's just like, I didn't have that much cream, so the heat, you know, dissipates very quickly. But you do want to make sure that you always have more chocolate and less cream, because otherwise it doesn't set well. You want to make sure that that is correct. This is how you make ganache, very, very simply. Beautiful, it smells so good. There's just a couple pieces that feel a little hard. Now, if you run into a problem like this, there are a couple things that you can do. You can set it over the heat. You can heat a little bit more of the cream, which I think I will do. So I really don't want this to get very hot. I want to make sure that I don't destroy this, because then I will never be able to make chocolate for you again. I'm just rinsing out my pan, drying it out, make sure there's no water left in there. And I also I'll heat as much cream as I have, and I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use very little bit, just to get these last pieces melted. Just, they don't want to melt. Also, my bowl was pretty cold, because it's been 4 degrees here, 10 below, 20 below. It's been a crazy winter. So we'll just get this a little bit hot. And then we're going to mix in hazelnuts, some amaretto, and this will be the ganache. And then we will heat some additional chocolate. We'll reheat the other chocolate we have there, and we will use that to dip these beauties in. Everything works out when you're patient. I'm not that patient of a chocolate maker. I just think it's fun because I feel like, wow, I can't believe I could do that, and it doesn't take that long to do. I'm just gonna get that cream a little bit warm, then we're going to dump it right into this chocolate. And you might want to also, when you use the cream, you might want to put a little bit in and then leave the other behind, and then do that little by little instead of dumping it all at once. I have in the past also got the cream hot and then put the chocolate in and let it sit and then swirl it around, and that seems to work really well also. Make sure that burner's going. Oh yeah, that's warm enough. I'm just gonna put, can you see what we're doing here? A little bit. And we're going to see what happens. Remember that we want to make sure that we don't have more cream than we do chocolate. And this is working well. You really got to keep stirring it too, because it will just get stuck on the bottom of the bowl and start thickening right away. Like you can feel it starting to get thicker as you go. You can feel like those pieces that you're kind of pushing around there. Make sure these are getting. You can also, you can chop your chocolate before you do this as well. That can work as well. Okay, we're gonna just leave this set for right now because we're not gonna use that yet. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to create the mixture that we need. And what the mixture is chopped hazelnuts. I have some here already. Chopped hazelnuts, a little bit of the amaretto. And this is how the ganache turns. Once you allow it to sit, you put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. And first we mix up. We mix up in, I need to turn this around again. Okay. We mix up in the Eco Chop. We put in 1/4 of a cup. I'm using 1/4 because you only have a small. Oh, absolutely. You can do. You can use 1/2 of a cup of finely chopped. These are too thick because if you use them to make chocolates, they are going to not allow the chocolate. So there you go, freshly chopped hazelnuts. Wow. So good. And it's a perfect size. It's not too small and it's not too large. It's just in between, which is good. Let me move these things out of my way. And I'm going to get my towel. Always want to be cleaning your workspace as you go along, because otherwise, in the end, I made chocolates with somebody that I swear the chocolate would end up on the counters, on the floor, everywhere. You want to be careful and mindful of that, because you know chocolate is very sticky and it may get places that you don't even realize, especially when you're using a spoon to spatter the chocolate. Okay, got that done. So let's check back again on the chocolate over here. It's still just sitting here. Okay, so what we do here is we mix the ganache and the hazelnuts. We also put a little bit of 1 tablespoon of butter. That keeps it really nice and glossy as well. I think I might just go and put this in the microwave for 5 seconds and I'll be right back. Let's see here. Okay, so here we are, just whisking this up again, melting that butter. And the chocolates have now melted, thank God. You put the butter in because you want to keep this liquefied for now, while it's hot. And you could use this as any type of a topping on any kind of cake. If you pour it over a cake, stick it in the fridge and it will thicken. Remember, it is made with the heavy whipping cream, which thickens this chocolate. And it thickens as it dries. So that's the one thing you want to definitely remember about. So I am going to take the half a cup of hazelnuts. Yum. Put those in. We're going to stir them up. And then we're also going to take 1 to 2 teaspoons of amaretto. You don't have to use amaretto if you don't want the alcohol in there. You can't taste the alcohol. It tastes actually great. You could use an almond extract if you like. Just a very small amount, 1/4 teaspoon on that. But this is the amaretto. I call it our date drink. My husband introduced this to me about 5 years ago. I know, it's a long time. I know it's a long time. He's still here, so that's a good thing. And the fun thing is, we've traveled with so many people, even people on this call, and I'm just gonna put 1 teaspoon in. We introduced this drink also to so many people, and it's such a beautiful thing when you have something that you really like and you enjoy an after dinner drink. Just, you're not drinking to, become drunk or something ridiculous. You're just drinking to enjoy something that tastes really good. And amaretto di Serrano, straight from Italy, is one of those things. It's an almond core. A lot of people use that and many other things they could use for in tiramisu, a lot of different things. So just special, and you'll find many drinks and desserts made with that. Okay, I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it get hard. And what we're going to do now is we are going to make the truffles in the Bonbite tray. So this is the Bonbite tray. And let me get down the perforated baking sheet. So there are several different things that you can do. The best thing to do is for you to take a spoon. I like to use a really small spoon. With something like this. It's coffee spoon, espresso spoon. So I'm going to take the chocolate, which of course, you have to melt that. Let's put some more water in this pan to get it warm again. This is the one thing why it takes so long. Excuse me if I'm taking a long time doing this, but chocolate is something that it's not hard to do, but it does take a little bit of time. So I'm taking this chocolate that we use with the Oreo truffles. And I'm placing it in the hot water. Remember, you don't want it to cook. You just want it to get a little bit warm. I also don't want to burn my fingers on. Okay. Then I'm going to see if this is getting warm on bottom. Yes. What I don't want to see happen, I don't want it to get too warm because it will become very hard and very difficult to work with. So you just have to stir it up for 30 seconds to make sure that you distribute the heat properly. Okay, we'll leave it in here another 30 seconds. Hopefully we don't need to go to the microwave. Okay, gonna lift that back up again. You can see it's getting more and more liquefied, but it's not liquefied enough for me to dip a chocolate into. So we want to make sure that we stir it for 30 seconds. And the way this chocolate looks, you think it's never going to work, but it is. 30 seconds, and then you put it back in again. Okay, getting close. Remember, we don't want it to clump down. This is a clump. Not good. You want it to flow like a ribbon, or you want it to flow so you could sprinkle it on something. This is getting much better. So I take it off the heat. Even if you feel like your heat isn't very hot, it's hotter for the chocolate than you think it is. Now watch. Now it's perfect. So what we're going to do here is we are going to remove the water. We are going to put the bonsai tray here, and I'm going to take the spoon, and I am going to put a little bit of chocolate in here. You're better off to do this twice than to do it only once and then not have enough chocolate around the sides. So I'll show you what I'm trying to achieve here. I want chocolate on the bottom and I want it painted up the sides. You can see here. It's just like that. Then what we would do is we would put it in the freezer for 20 minutes, even 15. It's good, depending on how thick you make this. You don't have to be an expert to do this correctly. What you're doing is you're making a shell to hold that truffle. So, put this in here again. Once you put these in the freezer and you get them warm enough, you're going to take, I'm gonna actually stick these in the freezer right now. If you see some areas that are still black, you still see the mold through it, you want to paint over that with the back of your spoon. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, earlier today, like I said, I made the truffles, but I didn't do the regular chocolate paint. I put them in the freezer like 3 hours ago, but you see, It tastes really good, but that does not work. You have to do the other process in order for that to work properly, even the ones that I didn't put very much in. But it's okay because I can then use these. I can still use this as part of the truffles that I'm going to make. So let's assume, and the only way I can do that is actually assume that I have taken out the bomb bites. And I did leave, I did one of the squares like that, painting up the sides. So I'm going to show you with this, and just imagine that it is a different shape, the bomb bite shape. So this is how it will come out. You paint up the sides, but the others aren't, they can't get ready quick enough for me to show you. So now what I'm going to do, this is the truffle mix. It's the hazelnut, the amaretto, the butter, and the heavy cream. I'm going to move the Bonmat over here. I'm going to put this in the pan to make sure that it stays warm for a minute. But remember, I need it by me because I want to make sure it doesn't get too warm, because I don't want it to get too warm. So what we would do with this, we take this. This is the bomb bite, supposedly. We're going to take the 40 here, and we're going to scoop. You don't need the whole thing. You just need it about halfway full. So this, the reason we paint up the sides of the mold is because this is the container for the truffle. A plain chocolate with some drizzled chocolate on top is not a truffle. A truffle is a chocolate that has a filling like this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chocolate, and I'm going to drizzle it all across the top. And it can go down the side, but doesn't have to. You want to make sure that your chocolate is not too hot either. I can just take this like this. I can clean up the sides like this. Clean up this side like this. Clean up this side like this. And, oops. We are ready to put something on top. What would we put on top? We could put hazelnuts on top. We could put a little bit more chocolate because it looks like it could use more. And what we can actually do is we can take this chocolate, let's put it into this pinch bowl. You don't want to get it mixed. It's too hard to get all the way down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's see, the tongs. And I'm going to turn the chocolate upside down, so I can hold on to this without ruining it. And I'm just going to dip it in here. And then I'm going to place it there. Now, what I can do is, let's say we want this beautiful chocolate with pink glitter for Valentine's Day. It's, oops, pink sugar. And maybe just 2 red hearts. 1, 2. Oops. I'm gonna make sure they're hearts. Some of them are broke. Here you go. You see, it was not hard just takes patience. Definitely patience. Okay, so we have this great chocolate ganache. You know, I'm going to continue making chocolates, but just to give you the idea of the Oreos and also the chocolates for the adults. So pretty. I hope you enjoyed that. Very, very simple to do. And I realize there's a few steps and it does take time, but it looks nice. And it's something that I've made at home, but I'm not trying to become a chocolatier. I have friends that are chocolatiers like Christine Bowden. She's fabulous with everything she does. And she lives in France. She actually has a beautiful boutique. If any of you would like the link to her boutique, let me know because I can send it to you. I don't know if she ships now to the US or not, but that's a possibility perhaps. So I hope that you enjoyed this very simple Oreo truffles or the hazelnut amaretto truffles, and I'm going to continue baking them. But right now I'm going to say thank you to Eric for doing such a superb job with your Eggs Benedict. And thank you to all of you for continuing to support us and get on our Taste the Trend classes. And we also do have some great specials for you where some of the trays are marked at 50% off. And that goes through the 5th of February. At midnight Pacific time, I believe. And Eric, can you just tell them what trays they are? I know one of them is the heart tray.
Oh my God, I just closed it. It's the cube tray, the Bonbite tray, the 6 round tray, and
Donut.
one other tray. I forgot. I'm sorry, but I did put a link in the chat for it. Hang on one second. The heart tray.
Yeah, the heart tray.
Heart tray.
Which I thought I had that tray right here.
Yeah, so trays you saw tonight, they're all on sale, $33 each.
Oh, here I have the heart tray. What's cool about this heart tray is the heart tray has messages of love. Some of them have a heart with squigglies going up and down. Some say love. One has a heart with some motion going around it. And the bottom 3 are 2 puzzle pieces of the heart going together. So very cool. Just give you an idea of how that looks. $33. It's a fantastic price. And do know that this is third-party tested product. It is the best silicone-made product, I believe, in the entire world. So definitely take advantage of these sales as we have them. And let's get cooking together and baking too. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night. Any questions? I'm sorry.
There was nothing in the chat. We answered those. So
Okay, great. Okay, good. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great evening, and we wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. And hey, do something sweet for someone that you love. Bye now.